So Marco Bezzecchi is the next rider to have made this silly season even more silly by jumping ship from BR46 and signing a 2-year deal with the factory Aprilia. Now, for me, it's been pretty clear since Mark has been announced with the factory Ducati that Ducati will end up having a shake-up, because the whole situation changed when Mark came out saying he wanted the factory seat and kind of forced Ducati's hand. So it's no surprise that Ducati have lost two of their shining stars in Martin and Bezzecchi. It is a bit of a surprise to see him as teammates really in the end, but after the Marquez thing, it just all lines up that really we were going to see these guys both go up, particularly to Aprilia. There was talks maybe of KTM coming in for Martin, but I just think KTM have no interest really, as much as in rumours there was rumour that maybe Binder could be demoted to GasCas or the next KTM team of next year, but I still think that the Austrian manufacturer really are fond on Brad, and why wouldn't they be? He's been really reliable for them over the last couple of years now. Bezzecchi to Aprilia, they came out Aprilia not so long ago, before we had gotten any of the Marquez to Ducati, back to Ducati that is, any of that happened, saying that they wanted an Italian rider. They were looking at Enea Bastianini, as it did look like, regardless of who went to the factory squad alongside Pecco, that we would see Enea departing, more than likely departing the factory team as well as the manufacturer, which did happen. He ended up going to KTM, which was a bit of a left field move, but it was kind of already aware that Aprilia wanted a young Italian, or definitely a proven race winner for their factory effort, because LH we kind of knew from the start of the season. Last year he kind of hinted maybe that would be his last year, and then when we saw him kind of return again for this year, the writing was on the wall from the start of the season that it was kind of ticking on a bit now for him, and his best days are probably behind him. So to see him announce his retirement, then we knew straight away we'd see a big move from Aprilia. Apparently Fabio was the number one choice. They didn't get him, and I don't think they thought Jorge Martin was really an option until very last minute, as we've already kind of covered. Marquez jumps onto the red bike, pushes Jorge Martin to the door, and he's actually kind of pushed Bezzecchi out the door really, because for me, I felt like Bezzecchi had future alongside Pecco. Maybe not in 25 or 26, or maybe not up to 27, but I think Bezzecchi's young enough that he could get a kind of maybe like a Petrucci, where towards the kind of the latter years of his career he could get that factory bike. I think he is good enough, but I think the allure of racing for Aprilia, I definitely think maybe Valentino's had an input in this, because of course Valentino rode for Aprilia in the lightweight classes 1 to 5 and 250, and both championships were won in the lower classes were with Aprilia. So I'd say Valentino has good respect and good kind of connection in Aprilia, so I'd imagine he probably played a part in Bezzecchi departing the Ducati squad and jumping onto the RSGP for 2025 and 26. But it's a brilliant move for me, for Bezzecchi. I think it's fabulous to see him getting a factory move. I think last year he was third in the world. He was top notch really. Went missing, got a couple of injuries at the odd time, but as a rider who's on a previous year's bike, if you take up Marquez this year, he would be last year's performance would have been absolutely more impressive. But just the way Marquez come in this year and kind of prove that it is doable, but still not many riders are doing it. But for me, I'm really intrigued to see how Bezzecchi gets on this Aprilia, because up until now, right, I really, to be honest with you, I just haven't rated the Aprilia riders that we've seen. So we've seen a lot of riders alongside LH, and we've seen LH. Maverick is hot and cold. You just never know when he has a bad day. Is it because the bike just isn't that good, or is it because he's not that good, or he can't get his head around the starts, or he just doesn't win in the hand-to-hand battles? But now that we're seeing a good kind of aggressive, ruthless Italian in Bezzecchi, and we're seeing the ultra quick Jorge Martin alongside him, it's going to be a pretty strong team. I'd argue it's probably the second strongest lineup for next year. Two proven race winners, basically Ducati's two strongest men last year, who held the only candle to the Pecco at all last year, was Martin and Bezzecchi. So it's a big loss for Ducati to lose both of them, but also the fact they've gotten Marquez in factory red, I think that's probably a good trade-off for them. But at the same time, going forward, Marquez isn't going to be there forever more. So maybe in years to come, could we see Bezzecchi in a couple of years' time go back to the factory Ducati squad and replace Mark when his time is done at the factory? And I'm thinking way into the future here, but we'll see. But for now, that would be pretty much it. Bezzecchi to Aprilia for me, brilliant move for him, brilliant move for his career, and I really hope that he can just kind of keep his I suppose his form from last year is pretty good. Just kind of kick on a bit, because I really think there's a very good GP rider in there, and I think Ducati will miss him in the end. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, subscribe for all that good stuff, and we shall see you in a future MotoGP video in the not so distant future. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Slog of fall.